Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Today we're really getting into it, focusing on the future of the All Blacks under Scott Robertson, Razor, and some pretty blunt criticism from a legend, Murray Mexted.
Yeah, this is a huge one for anyone who follows New Zealand rugby. We're going to cut through all the noise and look at how 2 years of, well, instability have set the stage for what might be one of their toughest years ever.
And whether this new coaching setup can actually restore what Mexted is calling the team's legendary credibility.
Before we unpack these fascinating sources, make sure you hit that subscribe button to Rugby Obsession wherever you get your podcasts. It's honestly the best way to get these deep dives sent straight to you.
So our mission today is to really get to grips with what Mexted meant when he said the All Blacks have been buggering around for 2 years.
Exactly. What did that look like? What was the cost? And, what's the plan now to get things back on track?
Well, you have to start where Mexted starts, and that's the history, the benchmark. You just can't talk about the All Blacks without it.
He calls their century-long record ridiculous.
And he means it in a good way. For over 100 years, the All Blacks had a win rate of over 80%.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just a statistic.
No, it's the mandate. It's the standard that Scott Robertson walked into. It's the ghost in the room, really.
It absolutely is. But, and this is important, we have to add some modern context here, which, to be fair, Mexted does acknowledge.
Okay, what's that?
That 80+% was built in eras where New Zealand had huge advantages, centralized contracts, Super Rugby as a giant All Blacks trial. A lot of those advantages they've shrunk.
That's a really crucial point. The international game is just tougher now. Mexted says it himself, results are more unpredictable. You get these shock losses.
Right, so if the bar is harder to reach, why is he so critical?
That's the question.
Because for him, it's not about the competition. It's about self-inflicted wounds. He says some fundamentals need to be adhered to, and he feels they haven't been.
So let's look at the numbers from Razor's first couple of years. In year 1, 10 wins from 14 tests. That's a 71% win rate. And then year 2, 2025, it improved a bit. 77% with 3 losses in 13 games.
Now, for almost any other country, you'd take that.
You'd be celebrating. But for the All Blacks, that's seen as a tangible slip. Mexted's whole argument is that those dips weren't just because they were playing tough teams. They were down to instability.
Which brings us to his main critique, the tactical one. This is where he really pulls no punches, speaking on that DSPN podcast with Martin Devlin.
Yeah, that's where he dropped the bombshell line that the coaches had been buggering around for 2 years.
I mean, that's language that really makes you stop and listen.
It is. And he was very clear what he meant by it. He called it 2 years of experimentation. He said there was too much chopping and changing from game to game.
And the result.
Very inconsistent performances that, in his words, tarnished our image. Let's talk about that tarnishing. Because it's not just the losses, is it? It's how they lost. Some of those defeats, like that one at home to South Africa, felt like there was real confusion, tactically or in selection.
Exactly. The talent was there, but the strategy felt like it was in flux. And that ties right into all the noise that was surrounding Robertson's leadership at the time.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. Mexted partly blamed a lack of international experience in the initial coaching staff.
Right, but it seemed deeper than that. You had those reports that Robertson was palming off selection concerns to his assistants.
And that just created a media storm because the head coach is meant to own those calls,
Yeah.
right? They made the whole vision seem a bit diffuse.
Then you had Israel Dagg's comments on the team dynamics and that whole incident where a comment from Robertson was taken out of context and New Zealand Rugby had to step in and clarify.
All that just paints a picture of instability. It completely backs up what Mexted was saying.
It does. Now, you could argue, and it's a fair point, that some of this was necessary.
A transition period.
Yeah.
A rebuild.
Yeah, exactly. You're bleeding new players, you've lost veterans. Maybe that 71% win rate was just the price you had to pay to find your feet.
But Mexted's point is that the time for that is over.
It's run out. The results demanded a change. The time to settle down is now. The slate, has to be wiped clean.
So that brings us to the path forward. Mexted isn't calling for a new coach. He's actually hopeful because of the stability that's finally here.
He points specifically to the departures of Leon McDonald and Jason Holland. For him, those changes have allowed the team to narrow down the field.
And settle on that core threesome.
The one Robertson had all that success with at the Crusaders. Robertson, Jason Ryan, and Scott Hansen.
A combination that just screams Super Rugby dominance.
Yeah.
What does Mexted think that will bring?
Consistency. A consistent message, a consistent system. These guys have a shared language, a proven way of doing things. He sees that as the catalyst to restore the credibility and the winning mantra.
To restore what they've been to the rugby world.
He thinks the selection debates, the confusion, all that will just fade away because the structure is solid now. It's a total reset.
We're analyzing Mexted's really sharp, but, ultimately hopeful take on the All Blacks. We'd love to hear what you think. Head over to the Rugby Obsession community, and hey, don't forget to subscribe while you're there for more deep dives like this.
Because that newfound stability is about to face the ultimate test immediately. The 2025 schedule is, well, it's monumental.
It's a gauntlet. This is where the rubber hits the road. Let's walk through it. How does the year kick off for this new-look coaching team?
They open with the Nations Championship at home, and these aren't just friendlies anymore. They start with a massive game against France in Christchurch, then Italy, then Ireland.
A tough start, but you'd expect them to build some momentum at home.
You'd hope so, because right after that, they head to the toughest place in world rugby, the tour to South Africa.
And this isn't just a fly-in, fly-out job.
Not at all. It's a proper expedition. They're playing 3 URC teams, the Stormers, Sharks, and Bulls, as warm-ups. That's a really unusual move, designed to get them battle-hardened for the main event.
Which is 3 tests against the Springboks. Where do they play?
It starts at Ellis Park.
Wow.
Yeah. Then Cape Town, and it finishes at the giant FNB Stadium. That whole stretch, that demands the absolute peak of consistency, the very thing Mexted said was missing.
And if they survive that, they come home for the Bledisloe Cup.
2 games against the Wallabies, which are never easy, and then they finish the year with the away leg of the Nations Championship.
The end-of-year tour.
Scotland, Wales, and England. It's relentless.
So for you listening, there's just no grace period here. This calendar is designed to test Mexted's theory. Can this stable coaching team deliver consistency, home and away, against the best in the world?
The whole story comes together, doesn't it? A legend points out the buggering around, and now we have the supposed solution, the core coaching group facing an impossible schedule to prove it works.
So, Mexted said the All Blacks need to restore what they've been to the rugby world. This leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on. With this insane 2025 schedule, can Robertson, Ryan, and Hansen actually get back to that 80+% win rate? Or has the game changed so much that maybe 77% is the new ceiling for the All Blacks?
We really want you to share your thoughts on that. Will this reset work, and are those historical standards even fair anymore?
Don't forget to subscribe to Rugby Obsession for more analysis and insights into the game we love. Thank you for listening to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive, and we will look forward to you listening to our next episode.